Welcome to The Explainer. Go ahead and take a really deep breath with me. Right now, we're embarking on this massive, mind-bending journey of scale. Today, we're exploring the invisible, microscopic engines operating inside your very cells, and we're going to trace their direct, undeniable connection to the sprawling forests that literally wrap our entire planet.
We're kicking things off with this brilliant observation from poet Richard Howard. It's actually a quote featured prominently in biochemist Nick Lane's book, Transformer. It is the movement that creates the form. It hits on this foundational truth, Life isn't just a collection of static structures or rigid buildings. Rather, life is a constant, restless, and completely dynamic flow. So, let's really dive into this. We're going to connect that breath you just took to the billions of tons of carbon captured by Earth's forests. How exactly does the chemistry humming inside your body right this second relate to the towering redwoods and dense canopies of the Amazon?
Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We're covering the invisible engine of life, the deep chemistry within, how we're shaped by the canopy, the lungs of the Earth, and finally, restoring our planet's future. We are literally zooming all the way out from the microcosm of cellular biochemistry to the macrocosm of global tree restoration.
Okay, part 1, the invisible engine of life. Let's start incredibly small and look at the hidden architecture inside our own bodies.
Think of a cell as a city. It's a metaphor Nick Lane uses, and it's just brilliant. Imagine an empty city with no power grids, no traffic, no jostling crowds. It's just a dead post-apocalyptic collection of concrete, right? What separates a dead city from a living one is the constant bustling flow of energy, materials, and movement. Well, the exact same principle applies to our cells.
This invisible flow animating your cellular city is called flux. And it's not just like a slow river flowing. It's an incomprehensibly fast transformation of molecules changing shape and function billions of times per second. This perpetual motion literally keeps the city of your cells alive nanosecond by nanosecond.
Which brings us to part 2, the deep chemistry within. It's absolutely crucial we understand the specific engine driving this flux inside you.
In Transformer, Nick Lane takes us right into the heart of this engine, known as the Krebs cycle. Discovered by Sir Hans Krebs back in the 1930s, you can basically think of it as a microscopic merry-go-round of energy and matter. It operates at the absolute core of our metabolism, actively turning the food we eat into the energy we need to survive. Think about this specific molecule for a second, pyruvic acid. It has this 3-carbon skeleton, and it is a vital intermediate in your cells. When your body breaks down sugars, like glucose, it splits them into molecules exactly like this one. It's unstable, it's highly reactive, and it is perfectly primed to be fed right into the furnace of cellular respiration.
And that brings us to this fundamental equation. We burn food, like those derivatives of glucose, in the presence of oxygen to generate energy. In the process, we exhale carbon dioxide and release water. This is the ultimate output of the Krebs cycle. Simply put, it's the literal reason we breathe.
But here's the wild thing. The Krebs cycle is deeply conflicted. It has a real yin and yang going on. On one hand, it shreds and burns molecules to release energy. But on the other hand, it operates in reverse. It generates the fundamental building blocks, like amino acids and the letters of your DNA, that your cells need to grow and renew. It's a single, elegant pathway being used simultaneously to destroy for power and to create for life.
Moving on to part 3, shaped by the canopy. Let's scale up and see how this builds from the deep chemistry of our cells to our physical connection with the natural world.
Did you know our very bodies and brains were fundamentally shaped by the forest canopy? Because our primate ancestors built secure tree nests high above predators, they were actually able to experience deep REM sleep for extended periods. This REM sleep, which we still spend about 20% of our nights in today, facilitated advanced brain development, reinforced body mapping, and literally gave us the capacity to dream. Our evolution started up in the trees.
Astonishingly, trees are still using chemistry to manipulate us today. Take compounds like theobromine, found in cacao, which gives us chocolate. By tapping right into our biochemical desires, trees have effectively domesticated humans. We are so drawn to these compounds that we've cleared lands, planted their seeds, and rigorously protected these species on a global scale. We like to think we're in charge, but the forests have been guiding us all along.
Which takes us to part 4, the lungs of the Earth.
Zooming out even further, we find this beautiful symmetry. The carbon dioxide exhaled by the chemistry of our cells becomes the exact, vital input for the macroscopic lungs of our planet.
As outlined by the Catch Foundation, forests basically mirror our cellular flux, but on a planetary scale. Think about the immense infrastructure they provide. Ecologically, the Amazon absorbs roughly 2 billion tons of carbon dioxide every single year. Economically, Costa Rica brings in $4 billion annually through ecotourism, all thanks to its integrated agroforestry. And culturally, the sacred groves in Meghalaya, India, protect rare biodiversity through ancient traditions. Forests are the living, breathing engines of the globe.
All across the globe, humanity is finally waking up to the fact that maintaining this planetary infrastructure is a matter of pure survival. And this realization has sparked some massive initiatives. Africa is planting an 8,000-kilometer Great Green Wall to hold back the desert, restoring 18 million hectares already. The Miyawaki method is creating these ultra-dense microforests right in the middle of cities in Japan and India to combat urban heat. Copenhagen is planting 100,000 trees to literally cool the city down by 5 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, Pakistan's billion-tree tsunami is actively reducing deadly flash floods.
And finally, Part 5, Restoring Our Planet's Future. This brings us to the ultimate macro solution for our changing climate, and it's backed by some truly stunning data from a landmark study by the Crowther Lab at ETH Zurich. 205 billion tons. I want you to take a second and let that number really sink in. That is the staggering amount of carbon that could be captured and stored simply by regrowing global forests to their natural potential. That single, focused action could capture 2/3 of all man-made carbon emissions released since the Industrial Revolution.
The data really highlights exactly where this massive potential lies. Just the top three, Russia with 151 million hectares, the United States with 103 million, and Canada with 78 million, hold vast, completely unused landscapes. And the research specifically points out that this restoration would happen on degraded ecosystems, so it wouldn't require taking over our existing cities or disrupting our absolutely crucial agricultural lands.
The science firmly shows that this is not just some hopeful pipe dream. We have the sheer potential to increase the world's forest land by a full third, adding 0.9 billion hectares of tree canopy. Restoring the Earth's forests isn't just a nice environmental idea. It is scientifically the most effective, immediate, and actionable solution to climate change available to us today.
So, we arrive right back where we started. From the microscopic flux of pyruvic acid rushing through the Krebs cycle inside your cells, to the billion-hectare forests serving as the very lungs of our planet, it's all a single, unbroken chain of respiration and life. We are entirely dependent on this global flow of energy and matter. So, as you take your next breath, ask yourself, what will your role be in keeping this incredible engine of life running?